Chapter 177. Young master, leave quickly. Don't worry about us. A core elder roared. Kill! Kill! However, Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the sky. His aura exploded as he swept his long spear towards the surrounding Duanmu family members. Kill him! Lu Yinxiong shouted. Swish! Swish! Sabers were unsheathed one by one. The surrounding Duanmu family members shouted angrily as they slashed towards Lu Ming. Dozens of people attacked together. However, when Lu Ming's long spear swept past, the saber radiance collapsed. 5 or 6 men were swept away by Lu Ming like cannonballs. They crashed into the wall of the courtyard and slid down like mud, without any signs of life. Kill! Lu Ming shouted angrily as he swept his spear again. Another 7 or 8 men were killed. These were all martial artists in the martial master realm. They were far inferior to Lu Ming. Attack, martial masters, attack! Lu Yinxiong was shocked and furious. On the stairs, more than 10 martial master realm martial artists dashed out and pounced on Lu Ming. Among the dozen or so martial grandmasters, the lowest cultivation was at the first level of the martial grandmaster realm and the highest was at the 5th level of the martial grandmaster realm. When more than 10 people joined forces, their power was shocking. Landslide. In an instant, Lu Ming erupted with all his strength without holding back. He brought out his bloodline and the power of fire, bringing out his full combat prowess. During this period of time, Lu Ming had made great progress. Before he came out, his fire force had reached small success. His fire force had reached small success and its power was extremely terrifying. Lu Ming's entire body was filled with scorching heat, as if he was a volcano with raging flames. Boom! Lu Ming ignored the attacks. He swept his long spear with the force of a landslide. Bang! Bang! The result was the same as before. Lu Ming was unstoppable. 4 to 5 strong martial masters were sent flying. Their bones were broken and their internal organs were shattered. They died before they landed on the ground. Strong, unbelievably strong. Lu Yinxiong and the others gasped in shock and anger. Li Ping and the 3 core elders were shocked, surprised and delighted. Kill! Lu Ming's murderous aura surged like a tide, his momentum like a rainbow. His eyes had already turned red from the killing. Boom! With another sweep of the spear, a few more great martial masters were killed. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand, like an undefeatable god of war, killing unhindered. The people of the Duanmu clan were extremely shocked and couldn't help but retreat. This brat can't be left alive. He's too terrifying. Ning Kong, Lu Yinxiong, and the others roared in their hearts. Every time he saw Lu Ming, he would discover that Lu Ming's strength would increase crazily, as if it would never stop. I'll kill him! Ning Kong roared furiously, his body pouncing towards Lu Ming like an eagle. While in midair, he struck out with his palm. Ning Kong was a peak expert of the 9th level of the martial master realm. This palm strike was earth-shattering. The space rumbled and the air exploded. A terrifying pressure surged towards Lu Ming. Ancient shield. An ancient shield appeared, blocking in front of Lu Ming. Explode! At the same time, Lu Ming exploded with his strongest move, blasting towards Ning Kong's palm force. Boom! Terrifying shockwaves rolled in all directions, Lu Ming's attack was destroyed. The powerful palm force continued to blast towards Lu Ming. Li Ping turned pale with fright. At this moment, Li Ping was led by the 3 core elders to a corner of the courtyard. Clang! The powerful palm force blasted onto the shield in front of Lu Ming, causing a violent explosion. The ancient shield was vibrating continuously. Thereafter, it exploded with a loud bang. Lu Ming's body was thrown backward for more than 20 meters. He slammed heavily against a wall before coming to a stop. Puff! He spat out a mouthful of blood. The 9th level of the martial master realm is indeed powerful. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Just now, he had resisted with all his strength. First, he used the explode to reduce a part of the opponent's palm force. Then, he used the ancient shield art to resist. Even with his perfect second stage body, he was still injured by the palm. My bloodline is indeed useless against an existence 5 levels higher than me. Lu Ming sighed. Just now, his bloodline had not erupted yet. It could have devoured half of the attack, but it had failed just now. Ning Kong's cultivation was 7 levels higher than his. The difference was too great. Lu Ming was shocked, but he did not know that Ning Kong and the others were even more shocked. Ning Kong's palm was blocked by Lu Ming. Although he was injured, he was not killed. This was too unbelievable. Especially Ning Kong himself, who was even more shocked. One had to know that he was a 9th level martial master expert. Although he did not go all out, he was confident that even a martial artist who was an 8th level martial master would be injured by his palm. What was Lu Ming's cultivation level? The 2nd level of the martial master realm. How was this possible? Earth level martial skill, you actually cultivated an earth level martial skill? The Duanmu family elder who was sitting on the armchair shouted crazily. What? Earth level martial skill? The others were even more shocked. Earth level martial skills were extremely rare. The difficulty of cultivating them was even more shocking. Normally, only martial ancestor realm warriors could cultivate them. Lu Ming was only a 2nd level martial master. How could he cultivate it successfully? Kill, we must kill him. At this moment, Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the Duanmu family elders were all shouting in their hearts. They were afraid. Lu Ming's talent was too terrifying. If he was allowed to grow, who knew how powerful he would be? That would be their disaster. Only by killing him in the cradle could they avoid this disaster. Boom! Ning Kong's aura surged. As for the Duanmu family elder, his aura also erupted. He was a 9th level martial master and was even stronger than Ning Kong. He was at the peak of the 9th level martial master. Lu Ming, you must die today. Lu Yunxiong roared. Is that so? You're the one who will die today. Lu Ming's voice was very indifferent. Ming, leave quickly. You're still not their match. As long as you leave, they won't dare to do anything to me. Li Ping shouted, extremely worried. Those people were too strong. Lu Ming was obviously not their match. Mother, don't worry. Even if the person who hurt you is at the end of the world, I will kill him. Lu Ming smiled slightly. At this moment, his hand glowed. The fire-tongue spear disappeared and was replaced by the demon-banishing spear. Beast soul, beast soul. I didn't expect it to come in handy so soon. Lu Ming whispered. That's right. He planned to merge with the beast soul and fight with Ning Kong. There were 2.5 beast souls in the demon-banishing spear. 2 of them were at the peak of martial ancestor realm and were known as half-step king beast souls. The other half was a king beast soul. Lu Ming planned to merge with the peak of martial ancestor realm beast soul. However, he was taking a huge risk. Given Lu Ming's current cultivation and physical strength, he was not confident that he would be able to withstand the recoil. However, this was the only way at the moment. Beast soul, come out. The demon-banishing spear shook and a beast roar was heard. A huge black wolf howled and flew into Lu Ming's body. Boom! At this moment, an extremely strong aura erupted from Lu Ming's body. This aura was strong, evil, tyrannical, and filled with killing intent. Roar! Lu Ming could not help but roar. His voice did not sound like a human's, but more like a wolf's. Oh no, he's merging with the beast soul. What a powerful beast soul. Stop him. Chapter 178. Boom! Boom! The Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong attacked. Two terrifying attacks blasted toward Lu Ming. Roar! Lu Ming roared and leaped forward, sweeping his spear horizontally. The air exploded and the space trembled. Water-like ripples appeared. With two loud explosions, the Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong trembled and flew backward. Ning Kong was even worse off. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How can it be so strong? What level is that demonic beast? Ning Kong shouted in disbelief. He can't hold on for long after fusing with such a powerful beast soul. He will explode from the beast soul's power. Let's attack together and make him explode faster. The Duanmu family's elder roared. At this moment, Lu Ming was indeed under great pressure. The beast soul's violent power was rampaging in his body. His muscles and bones groaned as if they could explode at any time. Even his perfected rank 2 body could not withstand it. At this moment, a blood-red light flashed at his spine and a powerful devouring force was emitted. This devouring power had neutralized most of the violent tearing force. This greatly reduced the pressure on Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming roared and rushed forward. His target was Lu Yunxiong. He had to kill Lu Yunxiong. Save me! Lu Yunxiong turned pale with fright. His legs were trembling as he retreated. At this moment, the Duanmu family's elder and Ning Kong attacked again. The other Duanmu family members cooperated and attacked. Streaks of sword chi, saber light, and palm energy tore through the air toward Lu Ming. Sky-splitting wolf! Lu Ming roared. His long hair danced in the wind and his aura was demonic. With a thrust of his spear, wolf howls could be heard. From the spear, huge black wolves flew out. This was the combat technique of the huge black wolf beast soul. As he had fused with the beast soul, Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The huge black wolves pounced, their claws splitting the sky as they pounced toward the Duanmu family's experts. Ah! Ah! Blood-curdling screams rose and fell. More than 10 men from the Duanmu family were torn apart. The Duanmu family elder and Ning Kong were forced back by 7 or 8 black wolves. Kill! Kill them all! Lu Ming wielded his spear and charged towards the remaining Duanmu clan members like a tiger charging into a flock of sheep. Blood splattered everywhere, and blood chi permeated the air. At this moment, Lu Ming had transformed into a god of death, slaughtering to his heart's content. Every time a spear's shadow flashed, a person would be killed. In just a few breaths, more than 20 people were killed. Fiendish demon, go! The remaining 10 or so members of the Duanmu clan were scared out of their wits. They ran for their lives and fled outside. Lu Ming's figure flashed and killed a few more people. Retreat! Lu Ming is no match for him. Let's retreat first. The old man from the Duanmu clan was so scared that his face was trembling. He roared in anger and then let out a long howl. Jie. Then, a bird cry came from the sky. The 2 large eagles swooped down. You want to retreat? Stay here. Lu Ming shouted and dashed out, sweeping his spear. Boom! Boom! The old man from the Duanmu clan and Ning Kong joined forces and exchanged a blow with Lu Ming. However, the result was that the 2 of them were forced to retreat. Ning Kong's face turned pale and he spat out another mouthful of blood. Go! The old man from the Duanmu clan borrowed the force and retreated to Lu Yunxiong's side. He grabbed Lu Yunxiong and soared into the sky, reaching 100 meters in the blink of an eye. Although experts at the peak of the 9th level of the martial Grandmaster realm could not fly, it was not difficult for them to jump a few hundred meters. At this moment, the 2 large eagles had also flown to this distance. The old man from the Duanmu clan and Lu Yunxiong landed on the back of one of the large eagles. The large eagle cried out and soared into the sky. Lu Yunxiong was Lu Yao's father and Duanmu Lin's future father-in-law. His status was not ordinary and he had to save him. Bang! At this moment, Ning Kong stomped his foot and soared into the sky, flying toward the other large eagle. Stay here. Lu Ming roared. His body was like a cannonball as he soared into the sky and charged toward Ning Kong. Landslide. The long spear was like a mountain as it charged toward Ning Kong. Blood slaughter. Ning Kong roared and spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. He exerted all his strength and a terrifying aura roared as he threw out a few palm strikes. The blood and palm energy gathered and formed a few blood-red palm prints that blasted toward Lu Ming. Ning Kong was putting his life on the line. He had even used his secret technique. However, he still could not stop Lu Ming. After merging with the beast soul of a peak martial grandmaster, Lu Ming's strength was infinitely close to the martial grandmaster realm. He stood at the peak of the martial grandmaster realm. Ning Kong was no match for him. The long spear struck and the palm prints were destroyed one by one. Ning Kong coughed out blood and retreated. He used this self-harming method and finally landed on the large eagle's back. On the other hand, Lu Ming's body fell downward. Lu Ming, you want to kill me? Dream on. You've killed so many people from the Duanmu family. No matter what, the Duanmu family will not let you off. Ning Kong laughed loudly. However, as he laughed, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned as pale as a sheet. That's right. Lu Ming, wait for the anger of the Duanmu family. Your Lu family will be burned to ashes by this anger. The Duanmu family's elder and Lu Yunxiong rode on the large eagle and floated 1,000 meters in the air. At this moment, the Duanmu family's elder said coldly. The Duanmu family had suffered heavy losses in this battle. Even the elder himself had been forced to flee. This was a great humiliation and the anger in his heart burned fiercely. Lu Ming, wait for your death. Lu Yunxiong roared angrily. Who allowed you to leave? Suddenly, Lu Ming, who was falling, spoke coldly. He suddenly stomped his feet in the air and his body actually stopped falling. Instead, he shot up. At this moment, his strength had increased tremendously. Even the power of the airborne steps had increased greatly. How can this be? Ning Kong was shocked. He was only a few hundred meters in the air. It was too late for him to go back up. He could only try his best to control the large eagle and escape. The large eagle spread its wings and flew forward rapidly. Die! Lu Ming roared. He held the spear with one hand and bent his body into the shape of a bow. Then, he threw out the long spear. Using his body as a bow and the spear as an arrow, the long spear whistled through the air like a bolt of lightning. It was unbelievably fast. This was Lu Ming's full-powered spear. In an instant, it had crossed a few hundred meters and pierced towards Ning Kong. No! Ning Kong wailed. However, it was too late for him to dodge due to his heavy injuries. Poochie! The long spear pierced through Ning Kong's chest, bringing out a stream of blood. A large hole was blasted in Ning Kong's chest. His eyes were filled with extreme unwillingness and fear. As for the large eagle, it was shocked by the murderous intent of the spear. It cried out continuously and stopped in the air. Swoosh! Lu Ming took a few steps back. In an instant, he had crossed a few hundred meters and landed on the back of the large eagle. Lu Ming, Ning Kong cried out a few times in despair. Then, his vitality dissipated and he was no longer breathing. Let's go. Above, Lu Yunxiong and the old man from the Duanmu family almost wet their pants. They hurriedly urged the large eagle to fly towards the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming raised his head and looked. He circulated the essential qi in his body and it burst out. The large eagle under his feet cried out and obeyed the order obediently. Ming, are you all right? Li Ping hurried over and asked with concern. Mother, I'm fine. Chapter 179. Young Master. The 3 core elders of the Lu family were shocked. Their young master had grown to such a level. In their eyes, the Duanmu family's experts were invincible. However, in the hands of Lu Ming, they were killed like babies. They were shocked and could not calm down for a long time. 3 core elders, please take care of my mother. Lu Ming looked at the 3 core elders. Yes. The 3 core elders replied instinctively. Ming, where are you going? Li Ping's expression changed. Lu Yunxiong must die. Mother, don't worry. I'll be fine. Lu Ming smiled. Then, Lu Ming's bloodline condensed. Lu Ming did not avoid it. His spirit-devouring bloodline opened his mouth and sucked. The blood essence of the Duanmu family experts who had died in the courtyard flew out and gathered toward Lu Ming. Among them, there were a few 5th grade and 4th grade martial masters. They were of great help to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm leaving. Lu Ming said. He leaped and stepped onto the huge eagle. Ming, be careful. Li Ping shouted. Mother, don't worry. Lu Ming nodded solemnly. Then, he stepped on the eagle. The eagle screeched and flew into the sky. The eagle soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the Lu family had disappeared. Lu Ming controlled the eagle and chased in the direction where Lu Yunxiong and the others had gone. At the same time, Lu Ming's aura dropped rapidly. The beast soul's power was finally exhausted. Lu Ming returned to his original level. However, he felt a stinging pain all over his body. This was caused by the beast soul's power attacking his body. Fortunately, I have the devouring bloodline and devoured most of the power. Otherwise, with my current cultivation and body, I wouldn't be able to withstand it. Lu Ming thought to himself. Then, he refined the power of the blood essence to recover his true qi and body. Not long after, the blood essence was completely refined. Among them, the essence blood of a few 5th-layer martial master experts was of great help to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation broke through to the peak of the 2nd-layer martial master realm in one go. As for the injuries on his body, they were more or less healed. At this moment, Lu Ming looked at Ning Kong's corpse on the back of the giant eagle. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Ning Kong was a peak expert of the 9th layer of the martial grandmaster realm. His essence blood was absolutely terrifying. Lu Ming did not want to miss it, but he also did not dare to rashly devour it. The essence blood of a 9th layer martial grandmaster is not something that I can devour and refine right now. I'm afraid that if I devour it, my bloodline will explode. Lu Ming pondered. There was a limit to how much essence blood a bloodline could devour. Lu Ming felt that devouring an expert 3 or 4 levels higher than him was already somewhat strenuous. His bloodline would swell. And the essence blood of a 9th layer martial grandmaster expert was at least equivalent to the essence blood of more than 60,000 2nd layer martial grandmasters. 60,000 was really too terrifying. Lu Ming guessed that if he devoured it, his bloodline might really explode from the violent energy. Forget it, I can't be too greedy. I'll just devour a drop and see. Lu Ming made up his mind. Then, he controlled his bloodline and carefully devoured a drop of essence blood, sinking it into his bloodline. Boom! In an instant, it was as if a volcano had erupted in his bloodline. Violent energy wreaked havoc. Lu Ming's spirit-devouring bloodline was originally a small snake less than a meter long. At this moment, it was forcefully swollen. Its length had increased by several times, and its thickness had increased by 10 times. The energy was too terrifying. Even if it was only a drop of essence blood, its energy was equivalent to the essence blood of more than 7,000 2nd-layer martial grandmasters. Refine, refine! Lu Ming roared. He controlled his bloodline with all his strength and crazily refined it. Hoo-hoo, streams of pure energy flowed into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming continuously circulated the true dragon battle art, absorbing this energy and transforming it into true qi. Lu Ming's cultivation rapidly increased. However, Lu Ming controlled his bloodline. Most of the energy essence was absorbed by his bloodline and used to upgrade his bloodline. Otherwise, the energy would be too huge. Lu Ming would not be able to absorb it all. About 20% of the energy was transformed into true qi. The other 80% was used to upgrade his bloodline. Lu Ming's cultivation rapidly approached the third-layer martial Grand Master realm. Boom! Half an hour later, Lu Ming's body shook. He had broken through to the third-layer martial Grand Master realm. After breaking through to the third-layer martial Grand Master realm, Lu Ming's refining speed increased greatly. The energy was continuously transformed into true qi. Early third-layer martial Grand Master realm, mid-third-layer martial Grand Master realm. When he reached the mid-third-layer martial Grand Master realm, the spirit-devouring bloodline let out a roar. Following which, the sixth blood-red chakra flashed. The bloodline had upgraded to the 6th grade. With a 6th grade bloodline, the devouring power increased greatly. The refining speed of the blood essence also increased greatly. The body of the spirit-devouring bloodline slowly shrunk. 18 hours later, Ning Kong's drop of blood essence was completely refined. Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the third-layer martial Grand Master realm. He was only a step away from the fourth-layer martial Grand Master realm. Of course, this was because most of the essence was used to upgrade his bloodline. This also caused Lu Ming's bloodline to reach the peak of the 6th grade. His 6 chakras were bright and full. It was as if a new chakra could be born at any time. One must know that the higher the grade of the bloodline, the more terrifying the amount of blood essence needed to upgrade. However, this time, Lu Ming's bloodline had increased by 1 grade. One could imagine how terrifying the blood essence of a 9th-layer martial Grand Master was. Lu Ming opened his eyes and looked at Ning Kong's corpse. He felt that it was a pity. After half a day, the essence of the blood essence in Ning Kong's body had already dissipated. The higher the cultivation of a cultivator, the slower the dissipation of the blood essence after death. However, for a 9th-layer martial Grand Master expert, it would take at most 3 hours for the essence of the blood essence to dissipate. True qi burst out and Ning Kong's corpse fell down. With one less person, the speed of the eagle increased greatly. It quickly chased forward. A few hours later, a black dot could be seen in the distance. It was Lu Yunxiong and the others. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming has caught up. Obviously, Lu Yunxiong had also discovered Lu Ming. He was so frightened that he cried out. This little bastard still dares to chase after us. Could it be that the power of his beast spirit hasn't dissipated? How is this possible? The Duanmu clan's elder's face was gloomy. Lu Yunxiong, I've said that you will die. You can't escape. Lu Ming shouted. His voice was incomparably cold. What should we do? Elder Chow, what should we do? Lu Yunxiong was scared out of his wits as he muttered. Could it be that the power of this little bastard's beast spirit hasn't dissipated? Or perhaps he still has another beast spirit? The old man of the Duanmu clan, named Duanmu Chao, was constantly thinking. He looked at Lu Ming with fear in his eyes. Don't worry, we're almost at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. As long as we reach the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, that little bastard Lu Ming won't be able to do anything to us. At that time, the ones who will die won't be us, but him. Duanmu Chao said with a gloomy face. It would take 10 days to reach the Mystic Essence Sword Sect from Firestorm City on the Azure-Scaled Horse. However, it would only take 1 day on the Eagle. Chapter 180. Hurry up. Hurry up. Duanmu Chao's vital energy surged into the eagle's body. The eagle screeched as if it had been stimulated by something. It sped up and flew forward. The 2 eagles flew toward the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, one in front and one behind. They were separated by about 10,000 meters. Lu Ming's speed was faster because he had one less person. The distance between them was slowly closing. However, it was impossible for him to catch up in a short time. Very quickly, 3 hours passed in a flash. The distance between them was only about 2,000 meters. However, they were already close to the boundary of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. We're almost there. We're finally there. Lu Ming, you still want to kill me? Dream on. Lu Yunxiong laughed maniacally. However, the murderous intent in Lu Ming's eyes did not diminish. It was extremely strong. Whoosh! Whoosh! Soon, the mountain gate of the Mystic Essence Sword sect was in sight. The eagle screeched as it flew past the mountain gate of the Mystic Essence Sword sect and headed toward the White Tiger Hall. However, Lu Ming did not show any signs of stopping. He continued to chase after it. What's going on? Why isn't Lu Ming stopping? Lu Yunxiong was a little flustered. It's fine. He's just bluffing. When we reach the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming won't dare to do anything, Duanmu Chao said confidently. The two eagles flew past the mountain gate of the Mystic Essence Sword sect one after another. Who's that on the eagle? The one in front seems to be the chief elder of the White Tiger Hall. The one in the back looks familiar. Wait, Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming. What? Lu Ming. It's really Lu Ming. Oh my god, Lu Ming is not dead. It's really him. Lu Ming is not dead. Suddenly, the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect was in an uproar. The news spread like wildfire. Lu Yunxiong, I don't care where you run to. I'll kill you today. Lu Ming's voice was filled with killing intent as it spread throughout the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Not good, senior brother Lu Ming wants to kill the people of the White Tiger Hall, and from the looks of it, he wants to kill his way to the White Tiger Hall. No, I must tell Pang Shi, Feng Wu, and the others about this matter, and let them inform Elder Mulins. Down below, a few disciples of the Vermilion Bird sect were shocked as they ran towards the Vermilion Bird sect. Whoosh! Up ahead, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were riding on the giant eagle as they sped toward the White Tiger courtyard. 1,000 meters behind, Lu Ming was in hot pursuit. Two large eagles flying above the Mystic Essence Sword sect without any scruples naturally caused a commotion. Lu Ming didn't die, and he's chasing after the White Tiger Hall's chief elder, saying that he wants to kill Lu Yunxiong. Who is Lu Yunxiong? You're ignorant, aren't you? You should know Duanmu Lin's fiancé, Lu Yao, right? Lu Yunxiong is Lu Yao's father, and I heard that Lu Yao and Lu Ming are from the same clan. I see, but how is it possible that Lu Ming is chasing after the chief elder? I don't know, but something big must be going on. Let's go and take a look. A large group of people gathered below the Mystic Essence Sword sect and headed toward the White Tiger Hall. A few minutes later, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were the first to arrive at the White Tiger Hall. The giant eagle landed on a huge square in the White Tiger Hall. As soon as it landed, the giant eagle started foaming at the mouth and fell to the ground, twitching. Along the way, the giant eagle had been burning its potential and could not hold on any longer. Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao jumped down and stood on the square. Both of them were relieved when they arrived there. We're finally safe. Lu Yunxiong was ecstatic, but he was still in a state of shock. He was really scared out of his wits by Lu Ming. Don't worry, Lu Ming won't dare to make a move here even if he has 10 guts. I'll report this to the dean, and he'll personally take down Lu Ming. He killed so many people from the Duanmu family, no one can protect him. Duanmu Chao put his hands behind his back and resumed his calm expression. The White Tiger Hall was the headquarters of the Duanmu family. Who would dare to kill someone here? Unless they were tired of living. He was sure that Lu Ming was about to stop. Lu Ming really did stop. He rode the giant eagle and hovered above the square. How dare you, Lu Ming? You killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family, and now you're riding a giant eagle to barge into the White Tiger Hall. You're too audacious and sinful. Now, get down here and beg for mercy. Maybe I'll leave your corpse intact. Duanmu Chao reprimanded with his hands behind his back. Lu Ming, come on. Didn't you say you wanted to kill me? Come down and kill me if you can. Lu Yunxiong laughed and looked at Lu Ming with disdain. But in the next moment, the smile on his face froze. Lu Ming's figure moved and he jumped down from the big eagle. With a loud bang, he landed heavily on the square, crushing the stone slabs on the square and sending gravel flying everywhere. I don't need you to shout. I've said that I'll kill you. It doesn't matter where you hide. Lu Ming walked step by step toward Lu Yunxiong. Lu Ming, what are you doing? How dare you? How dare you? This is the White Tiger Hall. Lu Yunxiong's face changed drastically. He couldn't help but step back as he screamed. However, Lu Ming's eyes were as cold as ice. He only said one word, kill. How arrogant. Men, Lu Ming has killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family. He's gone mad. Attack together and kill him. Duanmu Chao could no longer stay calm and shouted. There were many people from the White Tiger Hall in the square. At that moment, one of them rushed over. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. He's not dead. Who cares if he's dead or not? How dare he kill so many people from the Duanmu family? He's dead for sure now. Attack, kill him. Some of the people who rushed over were silver-ranked disciples from the White Tiger Hall. Some were middle-aged men who were no longer disciples. They had cultivated for many years and had high cultivation levels. Most of them were martial grandmasters. The martial masters did not dare to rush over. Boom! Lu Ming held the demon banishing spear. His aura was wild and his hair fluttered. He shouted coldly, my targets are Lu Yunxiong and Lu Yunxiong. If you don't want to die, scram. How arrogant. Let's see what you've got. You're just the number one disciple of the bronze rank. You're nothing in my eyes. Some silver-ranked disciples shouted. These people were all fifth-layer martial masters, and there were even sixth-layer martial masters among them. Since that's the case, kill them. Lu Ming's killing intent exploded. The demon-banishing spear shook and a beast soul merged into his body. The second beast soul was at the pinnacle of the martial ancestor realm. In an instant, Lu Ming's aura rose crazily. He was like a demon. Kill! The long spear swept out and 100-meter-long spear light appeared. It was as thick as a bucket. Bang! Bang! Dozens of disciples of the White Tiger Hall were swept away. More than a dozen of the weaker ones had their bodies blasted apart. In an instant, more than a dozen martial grandmasters were killed. Hiss! Some of the White Tiger Hall disciples who did not rush over gasped. Their eyeballs almost popped out. One spear, just one spear, killed more than a dozen martial grandmasters and severely injured more. It was too powerful. Audacious! Audacious! Lu Ming killed his fellow disciples. He's going to rebel. A disciple from the White Tiger Hall shouted. I've said it's none of your business. If you don't want to die, scram. Chapter 181. You came to our White Tiger Hall and asked us to leave. How is that possible? Attack, we must take down Lu Ming and punish him severely. The disciples of the White Tiger Hall roared. However, no one was able to get close to him. Lu Ming, how dare you be so arrogant? You will die today. A roar could be heard as three figures arrived at the scene. Chief Elder, 3 Chief Elders, Lu Ming is dead for sure. A disciple of the Duanmu clan yelled. Kuei Fong, you've come at the right time. Attack with me and take down Lu Ming. Duanmu Chao yelled in joy. I'll kill you first. Lu Ming yelled as he charged toward Duanmu Chao. Lu Yunxiong hid behind Duanmu Chao in fear. He had never expected that Lu Ming would really dare to attack the White Tiger Hall. Moreover, he had killed more than 10 great martial masters from the White Tiger Hall. How could he be so bold? At that moment, even in the White Tiger Hall, he could feel a chill running down his spine. When he saw Lu Ming charging toward him, his face turned pale as he frantically retreated. Bang! The spear in Lu Ming's hand turned into a pillar as it lashed toward Duanmu Chao. Damn it! Since Lu Yunxiong was behind him, he could not retreat. He could only brace himself to receive Lu Ming's attack. When his spear collided with Lu Ming's spear, his body trembled as if he had been electrocuted. He was then knocked back a few steps and spat out a mouthful of blood. "Come and help me!" Duanmu Chao yelled in astonishment. "Kill! Kill!" Finally, the three chief elders of the White Tiger Hall arrived and unleashed three terrifying attacks in Lu Ming's direction. Following this, Duanmu Chao also charged toward Lu Ming. Four ninth-layer martial grandmasters surrounded Lu Ming. Lu Ming let out a roar as he fought against the four ninth-layer martial grandmasters. His aura swept in all directions, causing the entire square to turn chaotic. Lu Ming was fighting 1 against 4 and was not at a disadvantage at all. At that moment, even more people had arrived. Not only were there disciples from the White Tiger Hall, but there were also disciples from other halls. When they saw this scene, everyone's jaws dropped as they stared at the scene in disbelief. Lu Ming was actually able to fight against 4 elders of the 9th level of the Martial Master realm. This was simply unbelievable. The news regarding Lu Ming's visit to the White Tiger sect spread like wildfire to the entire Mystic Essence Sword sect. Vermilion Bird Courtyard, Lu Ming's dormitory. At this time, in the courtyard, Pang Shi, Mulins and Feng Wu were sitting together. Their faces were heavy, as if they were thinking about something. "It's all my fault. I should have followed senior brother Lu Ming and the others when they went after the Dongi tribe. It's all my fault." Pang Shi clenched his fists tightly, the veins on his arms bulging as he said in pain. "Big Stone, don't be silly. This has nothing to do with you. With your cultivation, how could you have gone with them? You don't have to blame yourself," Feng Wu said. However, from her pained expression, it could be seen that she felt extremely uncomfortable in her heart. Lu Ming, did he really fall just like that? Feng Wu sighed in his heart. When the plane collapses, even a martial ancestor would not be able to escape death, let alone Lu Ming. Sigh. I don't want to believe it either. Mulan sighed. Her eyes were filled with grief and sorrow. Lu Ming, could it be that you only have this little bit of luck? Are you going to leave just like that? Originally, I thought you would grow into a powerhouse. Also, I still owe you a reward. How can you leave just like that? Mulan's thought in her heart. Also, Mulan's clenched her teeth as mist filled her eyes. A while ago, the sect had already informed Lu Ming's family. As far as I know, Lu Ming's only close relative is his mother. It can be said that Lu Ming is his mother's only hope and support. Feng Wu said. The moment he said that, the atmosphere became even more solemn. Why don't we go to senior brother Lu Ming's house together and take a look at Lu Ming's mother, so that she won't be too sad? Pang Shi suggested. I think so too. We'll stay in the Lu family for a while and accompany Lu Ming's mother. Feng Wu also nodded. Then we'll set off tomorrow morning. Mulan said. At this moment, the door to the courtyard was pushed open heavily. 2 youths ran in while panting heavily. Pang Shi, ah. Elder Mulans, it's great that you're all here. Something big has happened. A skinny young man with a head full of sweat said. Niu Huan, why are the 2 of you in such a hurry? What happened to make the 2 of you so anxious? Feng Wu asked with a frown. These 2 youths were disciples of the same batch as Lu Ming and were very familiar with Pang Shi and the others. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming, he's back. Niu Huan gasped for breath and shouted. Bang! 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 With that said, Mulan's, Feng Wu and the other 2's auras burst out uncontrollably. At the same time, they jumped up from their seats as if they had been electrocuted. You! What did you say? Senior brother Lu Ming is back? Which Lu Ming? Pang Shi stared with his eyes wide open, almost roaring out. Mulan's and the others also stared at Niu Huan with their eyes wide open. Their eyes flickered with an indescribable hope. Of course it's senior brother Lu Ming who is ranked first on the bronze list. Niu Huan seemed to be infected by their expressions and also roared. Senior brother Lu Ming. Huh, is it really senior brother Lu Ming? Niu Huan, are you sure you didn't see wrongly? Pang Shi laughed out loud and grabbed Niu Huan's shoulder tightly. Of course I didn't see wrongly. Not only did the two of us see it, many other senior and junior brothers also saw it. The other youth also said, Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Mulan's clenched her fists tightly as she muttered under her breath. Her tall and straight twin peaks were constantly moving up and down as her beautiful eyes flickered with extreme surprise. Lu Ming is not dead, this is a joyous occasion. Niu Huan, why are you shouting that something bad is going to happen? Feng Wu took a few deep breaths, calmed himself down, and asked. Senior brother Lu Ming, he is charging towards the White Tiger Hall. Niu Huan called out. What? Mulan's and the other two turned pale with fright. What's going on with the White Tiger Hall? Mulan's asked anxiously. I don't know, we only saw senior brother Lu Ming riding on a huge eagle, chasing after elder Duanmu Chao of the White Tiger Hall, and a person called Lu Yunxiong. I only heard senior brother Lu Ming roar that he must kill Lu Yunxiong, while Duanmu Chao roared that senior brother Lu Ming had killed dozens of experts from the Duanmu family. Later on, senior brother Lu Ming and the others went to the White Tiger Hall, while we rushed back. Niu Huan said. Lu Yunxiong. Not good, could it be that something happened to the Lu family? Lu Yunxiong knows that Lu Ming has fallen and wants to take action against the Lu family. Mulan's face suddenly changed. Back then, she had stayed in the Wind and Fire City for a long time, so she was very familiar with the Lu family's matters. Not good, something must have happened to the Lu family. With Lu Ming's personality, he will definitely kill Lu Yunxiong, but if he goes to the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming will definitely die. I will immediately find grandfather to save him. Mulan's expression was extremely ugly. After saying that, she rushed out and disappeared in a flash. Let's go to the White Tiger Hall. Chapter 182. Apart from Mulan's and the rest, many other disciples and elders of the four great halls also rushed to the White Tiger Hall after hearing the news. On the square of the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming and the four elders had exchanged more than 10 blows. Lu Ming's aura was like a demon, and he was getting stronger and stronger as the battle went on. The more he fought, the better he was at using the power of the beast spirits. Boom! He pulled out his spear, and one of the elders was sent flying while coughing out blood. Those who stand in my way shall die. Lu Ming roared and shot out several spear rays that seemed to be able to pierce through space. Bam bam bam. The remaining 3 elders were sent flying while coughing out blood. Lu Yunxiong, it's your turn. Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at Lu Yunxiong. His target had always been Lu Yunxiong from the beginning. No! Save me! Lu Yunxiong's expression changed drastically as he frantically ran backward. At the same time, he screamed. Stop him, Lu Yunxiong is young Master Lin's father-in-law, we can't let him die. Duanmu Chao and the other 3 elders roared and pounced at Lu Ming. Violent attacks surrounded Lu Ming's back. If Lu Ming killed Lu Yunxiong, he would be killed too. Lu Ming's eyes flashed fiercely as he roared, then I'll kill you first. Whoosh! Lu Ming turned around and stabbed his spear behind him. The spear was as fast as lightning. Everyone only saw a flash of light in the air. Poochie! Blood splattered everywhere, followed by a roar of anger and despair. The spear pierced through Duanmu Chao's abdomen. The abdomen was not a vital point, and Duanmu Chao was not dead yet. No, don't kill me, if you kill me, you'll die too. Duanmu Chao screamed in horror. You're still saying that even now, what a joke. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. His spear trembled and a powerful force erupted. Duanmu Chao screamed in agony as his body was torn into pieces. Blood, organs, and bones scattered on the ground. Boom! Then, the spear light exploded and collided with the other 3 chief elders. Amidst the violent explosion, Lu Ming and the 3 chief elders hurriedly retreated. However, the direction in which Lu Ming was retreating was the direction in which Lu Yunxiong was running. Ah! Lu Yunxiong saw that Duanmu Chao had been blasted into pieces by a single shot, and Lu Ming was rushing towards him. He was even more frightened as he screamed repeatedly. Evil creature! You are courting death! Suddenly, a furious roar came from the sky. It was an old man in a silver robe. His killing intent was incomparably sharp as he flew over from the distance. Silver-robed elder! My Duanmu clan's silver-robed elder has arrived. Huh! Lu Ming is dead for sure. Lu Ming, that bastard, he must have fused with a powerful beast soul. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such strong battle prowess. But no matter how strong he is, facing the silver-robed elder, he will be killed with one slap. The disciples of the White Tiger Hall shouted. The silver-robed elder could only be a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert was also known as a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert could already establish a sect and was extremely powerful. Before he arrived, an extremely terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Boom! Following that, the silver-robed elder blasted out a palm across the air. A powerful and terrifying palm print blasted towards Lu Ming. Wild winds howled as the palm print shook the heavens. A mountain-like pressure acted on Lu Ming's body, causing Lu Ming's body to be unable to move. Is this the strength of a martial ancestor realm expert? He is much stronger than a martial grandmaster realm expert. Block it, I must block it. Ancient shield! Lu Ming roared in his heart. The beast soul energy in his body circulated wildly. An ancient shield condensed and floated in front of Lu Ming. The shield condensed from the beast soul energy was more solid than before. It gave off an even more desolate and ancient feeling. At the same time, Lu Ming's long spear stabbed out crazily. In an instant, hundreds of powerful spear radiances blasted forward. Boom! The silver-robed elder's palm print finally blasted out. Bang! Bang! In an instant, Lu Ming's spear radiances were shattered one by one. They exploded in the air like balls of fireworks. The hundreds of spear radiances were swept away. The palm print continued to move forward. Lu Ming used the high air steps and quickly retreated. However, he was still hit by the palm print. Clang! The ancient shield made a melodious vibrating sound. The shield shook violently and in the next moment, it exploded with a loud bang. However, this was an Earth Realm martial skill after all. Moreover, it was operated by the beast soul energy. Compared to the shield condensed from his true chi, its defensive ability was much stronger. Although it was shattered, it still offset most of the palm power. However, the remaining palm power was still very strong. Lu Ming blocked with his long spear. With a loud bang, his body was pushed back more than 100 meters and he spat out a mouthful of blood. A long gully appeared under his feet. However, he still managed to block it. Hiss, the sound of people inhaling cold air could be heard continuously. Lu Ming could block the palm of the silver-robed elder head-on and not die. How could this be possible? This was a martial grandmaster. Even if there were 100 martial grandmasters at level 9, they would not be a match for a martial grandmaster at level 1. However, Lu Ming blocked it. Unbelievable! Bang! At this moment, the silver-robed elder jumped down from the sky and stomped heavily on the ground. The ground exploded with a loud bang and a large pit appeared. He was an old man in his 60s with white hair and beard. At this moment, his eyes were full of killing intent and a hint of surprise. He carefully looked at Lu Ming and sneered, "It turns out that you have merged with a powerful beast soul. No wonder you can block my palm print. Get out of my way. I want Lu Yunxiong. Today, I will kill him." Lu Ming said coldly. The surrounding people were shocked again. What did it mean to be audacious? This was how he dared to say such words in front of a martial grandmaster. Stupid! Someone scolded coldly. Ha ha ha! The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family laughed loudly and then scolded, "Now, kneel down and destroy your own cultivation. Wait for your punishment." The silver-robed elder stood between Lu Ming and Lu Yunxiong. His aura erupted and he stood there like a mountain. Lu Ming was under great pressure. "It seems that I can only use my last move." Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of madness. If he was going to go crazy, he would go crazy until the end. He decided to merge with the half of the Monster King's soul. However, the Monster King's soul contained a terrifying amount of energy. With his current cultivation, he would probably explode. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, which had been upgraded to level 6, he was not confident. However, there was no way out now. Even if he retreated, the Duanmu family would not let him go. Only by fighting could he pave a way out. "It seems that you are not willing to. Since you're so stubborn, then let me deal with you, you disgraceful little bastard." The silver-robed elder shouted and threw another palm print at Lu Ming. The power of this palm print was stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. Obviously, he had not used his full strength in the previous palm print. "Come on then. Let me see how powerful a martial grandmaster is." The madness in Lu Ming's eyes intensified and there was a strong determination in them. "Beast soul, merge. Howl." A giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky like the king of all monsters. A terrifying aura spread out. Monster King, the Monster King's soul. Chapter 183. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, his voice shaking the entire White Tiger Institute. Everyone was shocked to the extreme. Their eyes widened as they stared blankly at the giant silver wolf above Lu Ming's head. Heavens, that's the soul of a demon king. Everyone sucked in a mouthful of cold air. A demon king. What kind of existence was that? If it was alive, it could destroy a sect like the Mystic Essence Sword sect. It was extremely powerful. With a wave of its hand, it could split a river and split a mountain. It had the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. How did Lu Ming obtain the soul of such an existence? Lu Ming, are you trying to merge with the Demon King's soul? Are you crazy? You're courting death. How can you merge with the Demon King's soul? The silver-robed elder roared. Merge! However, Lu Ming's gaze was firm as he uttered a single word. Roar! The giant silver wolf howled as it charged into Lu Ming's body. Roar! At that instant, Lu Ming let out a furious roar as the aura on his body surged. With a flash of light, the silver-robed elder's palm was shattered. Following that, a dazzling white light overflowed from Lu Ming's body. Even his hair turned silver-white. His silver-white hair danced in the wind. At that moment, Lu Ming looked like a powerful demon. Kill! Lu Ming roared as he thrust out his spear. A silver-white spear radiance burst out. His target was the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family. His speed was unimaginably fast. Why didn't you explode? The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared in disbelief. How could a mere second-grade martial master withstand the power of the Demon King's soul? However, he did not know that Lu Ming was able to withstand the power of the Demon King's soul because of his spirit-devouring bloodline. However, even so, the pressure that Lu Ming was under was still unimaginable. The power of the Demon King's soul was too strong. Although it was only half a Demon King, it allowed Lu Ming's power to increase rapidly. He broke through the martial arts Great Master rank in one fell swoop, allowing Lu Ming to temporarily have the ability to compete with a martial arts Great Master. But this tyrannical power caused Lu Ming's body to suffer quite a bit of damage. His bones were groaning as if they would break at any moment. If I don't kill Lu Yunxiong, how could I possibly explode? Since you want to stop me, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming let out a long roar, his aura surging like a rainbow. His figure flashed, stepping into the air and charging towards the silver-robed elder. So what if you fused with the beast soul? Do you really think you can contend against me? I will let you know how naive you are. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, exploding with all his strength. At this moment, the entire square was shrouded in an indescribable pressure. Boom! The two figures clashed in the air, resulting in a shocking explosion. Bang! Following that, a figure frantically retreated. Silver-robed elder, it was that silver-robed elder. First layer martial ancestor realm, SOSO. Lu Ming burst out laughing as his aura became even more terrifying. With a kick, his figure transformed into a silver ray as he charged at the silver-robed elder. At that instant, the silver-robed elder wore an unpleasant expression. Fusing with the beast's soul, he had only read about it in ancient records. He did not expect it to be this powerful, to the extent that even his cultivation of the first-layer martial ancestor realm was no match for it. Hold him off, I just need to hold him off for some time. When the other experts of the White Tiger sect arrive, Lu Ming will surely die. The silver-robed elder quickly thought of this, before he clenched his teeth and charged at Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! Following a series of explosions, the crowd could only see two glowing figures colliding with one another in midair, resulting in a series of explosions and shockwaves. Shush! After more than 10 exchanges, a figure was sent flying a few hundred meters backward, leaving a trail of light behind him. As the light dissipated, the crowd could see the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family standing in midair, trembling while vomiting blood. His eyes were filled with astonishment. The crowd on the square could not describe their current feelings. It was too shocking, Lu Ming had managed to injure a martial ancestor. Unbelievable, absolutely terrifying. Although it took a long time to describe, it had only taken place in the span of a few breaths. How could this be? How could this be? At the edge of the square, Lu Yunxiong trembled in fear and almost burst into tears. Initially, he thought he was safe after seeing the silver-robed elder, as Lu Ming would not be able to do anything to him. However, after Lu Ming had merged with the beast's soul, he managed to injure the silver-robed elder and almost scared him to death. Run, we have to run. Lu Ming, this bastard, is too evil. Lu Yunxiong let out a roar in his heart as he turned around and ran toward the peak of the White Tiger sect. Lu Yunxiong, you won't be able to run away. Lu Ming's cold voice could be heard. With a flicker, he appeared above Lu Yunxiong's head in the blink of an eye. H! Lu Yunxiong screamed and jumped 3 zhang high. He quickly turned around and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out and clenched his fist. A silver palm appeared out of thin air and grabbed at Lu Yunxiong. Lu Yunxiong could not resist and was caught by the silver palm. H! No, don't kill me. Help, help. Lu Yunxiong's face was flushed red as he tried to prick himself with needles. He screamed crazily. Lu Ming, let go of him. Do you know who he is? He is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law. If you kill him, you will be in big trouble. Do you know that? The silver-robed elder from the Duanmu family flew over and shouted. Big trouble? Just because he is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law? What a joke! Lu Ming smiled coldly. Then, he exerted force in his hand. Cracking sounds came from Lu Yunxiong's body as countless bones were crushed. Lu Yunxiong screamed in agony. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. I am your elder. Lu Yunxiong screamed bullshit. Lu Ming shouted coldly, his gaze cold. Father. At that moment, an anxious voice came from the sky. Then, a stream of light flew over from afar. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he looked at the stream of light. There were 2 figures in the stream of light. One of them was Lu Yao. The other person was a young man who was about 17 or 18 years old. He was wearing a black suit and had a handsome and cold face. There was a terrifying aura around him. Martial ancestor. The young man who looked like he was about 17 or 18 years old was a martial ancestor realm expert. Duanmu Lin, that is Duanmu Lin. Oh my god, he is flying in the air. Martial ancestor realm. Duanmu Lin has broken through to the martial ancestor realm. It's true, it's true. Duan Mulin is only 18 years old. An 18-year-old martial ancestor, this is too terrifying. There are only a few people like him in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming is done for. The onlookers could not help but shout when they saw the young man. Duan Mulin. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Yao, save father, save father. Lu Ming is going to kill me. Lu Yunxiong shouted desperately when he heard Lu Yao's voice. It was as if he was grasping at straws. Whoosh! Chapter 184. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Let him go. Do you think that's possible? You're as naive as before. Lu Ming said with a smile. Lu Ming, you went to the White Tiger Institute and killed their disciples for no reason. Now, you're trying to kill my father. Do you know what crime you've committed? Let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Crime? What a joke. Lu Yunxiong and the Duanmu clan killed the people of the Lu clan for no reason. They even tried to kill my mother. What crime am I guilty of? Lu Ming retorted. What? Lu Yao was shocked. Obviously, she did not know that Lu Yunxiong had gone to the Lu clan. However, she quickly regained her composure and said coldly, I don't care. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Ming, I'm begging you. Please let me go. It's my fault. Please have mercy on me. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Clearly, he was truly afraid. Have mercy? Ha, Lu Yunxiong, what a joke. Did you show mercy to the core elder of the Lu clan? If I didn't make it in time, would you have shown mercy to my mother? Lu Ming's voice became colder. Lu Ming, let me give you a piece of advice. You'd better let him go and kneel down to admit your guilt. This is your best choice. Otherwise, Duan Mulin will say that no one can save you. Duan Mulin placed his hands behind his back and said coldly. His aura was terrifying. There was a haughty look on his face. No one in this world can save me. Who do you think you are? There are so many geniuses in this world. Do you think you're the best just because you have a little bit of cultivation? You're just a frog in the well. Lu Ming looked at Duan Mulin and scolded him. The people around them were dumbfounded. Lu Ming said that Duan Mulin was a frog in the well. They were confused. What did you say? Duan Mulin's face darkened. Nonsense. I'll kill Lu Yunxiong right now. Let's see what you can do to me. Lu Ming berated. Then, he looked at Lu Yunxiong and sneered, All right, Lu Yunxiong, I'll send you on your way now. No, don't. Lu Ming, don't. I don't want to die, save me. Lu Yunxiong screamed crazily. His eyes were filled with fear and hesitation. No. Lu Yao shouted. How dare you? Duan Mulin berated. Bang! Lu Ming sneered and clenched his fist. The silver palm suddenly closed, and with a bang, Lu Yunxiong was struck by an enormous force and exploded. Lu Yunxiong was dead. Father! Lu Yao screamed. Then, she looked at Lu Ming and shouted crazily, Lu Ming, I want you to die a horrible death. Boom! Duan Mulin's aura became even more violent. His face was incomparably gloomy, and the killing intent emanating from him seemed to have materialized. Lu Ming, you've made a very foolish choice. Duan Mulin's voice was cold. With a wave of his hand, Lu Yao fell to the ground. Die! Then, Duan Mulin shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming also shouted and charged toward Duan Mulin. They are fighting. Duan Mulin and Lu Ming are fighting. Someone shouted excitedly. Duan Mulin was an unparalleled genius with extraordinary talent. He had awakened his bloodline at a very young age and was invincible. Among his peers, no one was a match for him. He suppressed geniuses with special bloodlines and was known as one of the 4 great geniuses of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Moreover, he was ranked first among the 4 great geniuses. He had too many honors in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and was believed to be a genius who could surpass Feng Wuji in the near future. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had only joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect for slightly more than a year. However, he had created miracles one after another. The newcomer king, first on the bronze list in his first year, had comprehended force when he was only a martial master. Now, he had charged into the White Tiger Hall for his family. He was a lawless person. Now that the two of them were facing each other, everyone's attention was drawn to them. Among them, who would win? Everyone stared fixedly at him. Boom! Finally, the two of them collided in the air. Silver and black lights shone in the air and occupied the entire sky. Whoosh! Whoosh! Then, the two of them flew back a few hundred meters. He's much stronger than the silver-robed elder. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Duanmu Lin had just broken through to the martial ancestor realm, but his combat strength was much stronger than an ordinary first-stage martial ancestor realm. He was much stronger than an ordinary expert of the same level. Duanmu Lin was also shocked. Then, kill! Kill! The two of them charged forward at the same time. Terrifying attacks rained down on his opponent in a frenzy. Boom! Boom! In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged more than 10 blows. Roar! Suddenly, a black leopard appeared. Its body was covered in lightning and it had a horn on its head. It stood on top of Duanmu Lin's head. Bloodline, that's Duanmu Lin's bloodline. It's a 7th grade bloodline. It's said that it has the bloodline of a dragon and is extremely powerful. Someone shouted. Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmu Lin unleashed his bloodline and roared. He slashed with his saber and endless saber radiance appeared, forming a sun. The sun floated in the air and its power was immeasurable. It was accompanied by terrifying saber radiance that blasted toward Lu Ming. Earth-grade martial skill, it's an Earth-grade martial skill. Someone shouted. Silver Wolf Howling Moon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he let out a loud roar like a wolf king. Then, a giant silver wolf appeared. The giant wolf was as big as a mountain and it howled at the sky. Then, a full moon appeared above the silver wolf's mouth. The full moon emitted endless radiance and blasted toward Duanmu Lin. This was the Silver Wolf Demon King's superpower. It was contained in the beast soul and Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The sun and the full moon met in the sky and there was an explosion of endless air waves. Heaven and earth were in chaos and energy waves were shooting everywhere. Between the sun and the full moon, a beam of light shot up to the sky and a big hole appeared in the clouds. Everyone looked at the sky, dumbfounded. They looked at the sun and the full moon and the two young men. Break! Duanmu Lin roared. You're still far from it. I'll break you. Roar! Lu Ming howled like a wolf. The silver radiance on his body was so dense that it seemed to have materialized. Sizzle sizzle, the pressure on Lu Ming's body was getting stronger and stronger. It began to make sizzling sounds. Lu Ming's entire body was in excruciating pain. Fine blood beads even seeped out of the pores all over his body. However, Lu Ming didn't care at all and crazily activated the power of the beast soul. Roar! In the sky, the silver wolf that was as large as a mountain howled. The light of the full moon became even more resplendent. Boom! The sun was suppressed and its radiance dimmed rapidly. It was on the verge of collapse. Rumble. Following that, there was a rumbling sound as the sun began to tremble rapidly. Then, it exploded with a loud bang. Duanmu Lin's body shook violently and he fell to the ground like a cannonball. At the same time, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Duanmu Lin was injured and defeated. Chapter 185. Duanmu Lin, the peerless genius, had already broken through to the martial ancestor realm. However, he was still defeated by Lu Ming and spat out blood. Although Lu Ming had merged with the spirit of the king of beasts instead of his own strength, it was still shocking enough. It was a miracle to be able to merge with the spirit of the king of beasts. Ordinary people would not be able to do it. What peerless genius! You're just a short-sighted kid with some achievements. I'll kill you now. Lu Ming let out a roar as he charged toward Duan Mulin while his body was covered in a silver glow. The crowd was dumbfounded. He was audacious. He was really audacious. Lu Ming actually wanted to kill Duan Mulin. Everyone knew that Duan Mulin was the hope of the Duanmu clan. He was the hope for the rise of the Duanmu clan. It would be fine if Duan Mulin was killed, as there would still be some time left. However, if Duan Mulin was killed, the Duanmu clan would not rest until one of them was dead. However, Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He was determined to kill Duan Mulin. Bang! The silver moon emitted a brilliant glow. Each ray of light was like a spear glow that charged toward Duan Mulin. Lu Ming, don't you dare! The elder in a silver robe from the Duanmu clan dashed toward Lu Ming without caring about his injuries. A brilliant saber glow was unleashed, but it dissipated as soon as it came into contact with the light of the moon. The elder in a silver robe could not withstand the attack and was knocked backward while spitting out blood. Lu Ming continued to charge toward Duan Mulin. Beast, how bold! At that instant, a loud roar could be heard from the heavens and earth. The roar caused the heavens and earth to tremble as a powerful pressure burst out from the sky. Many disciples of the 4 academies with weaker cultivation spat out blood and fell to the ground with pale faces. Following this, the clouds in the sky rumbled as a giant hand reached out from the clouds and grabbed at Lu Ming. It's the chief of the White Tiger Institute. Someone yelled. Bang! The dean of the White Tiger Institute was too powerful. Although he was also a martial ancestor, he was much stronger than the silver-robed elder and Duan Mulin. The giant hand was still high up in the air. It trembled slightly, and an inconceivably powerful force appeared and blasted towards Lu Ming. Bang! The silver full moon was like a bubble, dissipating without a sound. The giant silver wolf roared angrily, but it was also defeated. Lu Ming's body shook violently. He spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated madly. However, the giant palm did not stop there. It continued to press down on Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming was completely enveloped by the giant palm, and it was difficult for him to escape. Duanmu Pejuan, as the headmaster of the academy, you actually made a move against a junior disciple. Do you have no fucking shame? At this moment, a furious roar came from the south. At the same time, a sword light instantly traversed the void and slashed towards the giant hand. The sword light and the giant hand collided with each other. Like a hot knife through butter, the giant hand was crushed into pieces. Then, the sword light continued to fly toward the clouds in the sky. Yen Lan! A furious roar came from the clouds. Then, a terrifying saber light flashed past. Boom! Energy swept out and the clouds dissipated, revealing a figure inside. It was the headmaster of the White Tiger Academy, Duanmu Pejuan. A figure appeared in the south. It was the headmaster of the Vermilion Bird Academy, Yen Lan. The two headmasters faced each other from a distance. Their auras intersected, and a huge pressure spread out between heaven and earth. Lu Ming, bastard, I'm going to kill you. Below, Duan Mulin roared. His long hair danced in the wind. His aura was like a demon, and his killing intent was so dense that it was tangible. He was actually injured by Lu Ming in front of everyone. This was a great humiliation to him. He must kill Lu Ming with his saber. Roar! An earth-shattering roar came out. Duan Mulin's body emitted an extremely dense blood-red light. Then, a flood dragon rushed out from Duan Mulin's body. This flood dragon was more than 10 meters long and had a slender body. It had 4 claws on its abdomen and its body was covered with black scales. Lightning constantly flowed on the scales, and a king-like aura spread out. The most eye-catching thing was that there were 2 chakras on the black flood dragon's body. These chakras were not blood red, but silver. 2 silver chakras. Almost everyone at the scene was stunned. Then, they shouted, "King grade bloodline, this is a king grade bloodline. Moreover, it's a grade 2 king grade bloodline. Duanmulin's second awakening is actually a grade 2 king grade bloodline. This is too shocking. Monster, there is hope for a martial king in the future." Most of the people could not help but shout. When a martial artist broke through from the martial master realm to the martial ancestor realm, there would be a nirvana process. During this process, one could awaken a second bloodline and awaken a second type of bloodline. Generally speaking, the second awakening of a bloodline's grade would be higher than the first awakening. As for whether the grade was higher or lower, it was completely uncertain. It depended on one's potential and accumulation. This was a real nirvana. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was not high enough, but they could awaken an extremely high-grade bloodline in the second awakening. From then on, they would soar into the sky and become a world-renowned expert. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was very high, but the second awakening of a bloodline might only be 1 grade higher than the first. In that case, they would slowly be overtaken by others. Generally speaking, grade 9 bloodlines had another name, which was mortal grade bloodline. Mortal grade bloodline's chakras were blood red. Above mortal grade bloodline, there was another grade of bloodline, which was called king grade bloodline. King grade bloodline was also divided into 9 grades. The chakras were silver, which was much stronger than mortal grade bloodline. Mortal grade bloodline could not compare to king grade bloodline in terms of cultivation speed or the increase in combat strength. It was said that there was another type of bloodline above king grade bloodline, which was called god grade bloodline. However, this grade of bloodline was only a legend and was rarely seen in the world. Duanmulin's second awakening of a bloodline was a grade 2 king grade bloodline, which was shocking. One should know that most people's second awakening of a bloodline was only a grade 9 mortal grade bloodline. Those who could awaken a king grade bloodline were few and far between. Duanmulin's king grade bloodline had raised his aura to the peak. Great Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmulin roared. His saber cut through the void and endless saber radiance condensed into a sun. This sun was twice as strong as the previous one. Silver Wolf howls at the moon. Lu Ming roared and unleashed the beast soul power in his body to the extreme. Another giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky. A silver full moon appeared, which was brighter than the previous one. Boom! Once again, the sun and the moon collided in the sky. Endless light filled the air and the space trembled as if it was about to explode. Kill! Kill! Duanmulin roared crazily as his violent genuine chi surged out. However, Lu Ming also unleashed the beast soul power to the extreme. Crack! 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 Lu Ming's body kept emitting sounds like beans being fried. His bones were trembling and his muscles were wriggling. Blood was seeping out of his pores. Chapter 186. Devour. Lu Ming controlled his bloodline with all his might and devoured the tearing force. The terrifying devouring force covered his entire body and prevented him from exploding from the beast soul's power. However, after a series of battles, Lu Ming's body was still severely injured. The rumbling continued as the sun and moon reflected each other in the sky. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the 2 young men in the sky. The 2 deans of the White Tiger Hall and Vermilion Bird Hall were confronting each other and no one could interfere. Swoosh! Swoosh! In the sky, there were flashes of light as silver-robed elders appeared one after another. At first, it was the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall. Soon, the silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Hall, Azure Dragon Hall, and Black Tortoise Hall appeared in the sky. There were more than 20 silver-robed elders of the 4 halls. Boom! At this moment, the sun and moon in the sky suddenly collapsed and dissipated into energy. Kill! Kill! The two of them roared in unison as their killing intent surged like a tide and pounced towards each other. The saber aura and spear aura swept across the sky and tore through the air. The two of them continued to fight in the sky and the battle was extremely intense. Below, Lu Yao looked at the sky in a daze as her eyes were filled with disbelief. Lu Ming, the previously weak and sickly trash who couldn't cultivate, had actually grown to this stage? She couldn't accept it and couldn't accept it. He's just relying on external forces. He can't be compared to Brother Lin. Brother Lin is 100 times, no, 1,000 times stronger than him. Lu Yao kept reminding herself in her heart. Lu Ming. Senior brother Lu Ming. At this moment, Mulins, Feng Wu, Pang Shi, and the rest rushed over. Soon after, more people rushed over after receiving the news. For example, Zhang Muyun, Duan Gang, and the rest. After rushing over, they stood at the side and looked at the sky in shock. In the sky, Lu Ming and Duan Mulin had exchanged more than 100 blows, but it was still difficult to determine the victor. Let's attack together and kill that little bastard Lu Ming. He killed dozens of our Duanmu clan's experts. A silver-robed elder of the Duanmu clan roared. Who dares? Yen Lan shouted as his sword aura soared into the sky. The other silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Courtyard also unleashed their auras and rushed forward. Yen Lan, Lu Ming massacred the elders of the same sect. How dare you shield him? Duanmu Pejuan shouted loudly. We haven't figured out the cause of this matter yet. I believe that Lu Ming wouldn't do such a thing casually. There must be a reason behind it. Yen Lan didn't give in at all. I don't care what the reason is. It's a fact that Lu Ming massacred his fellow disciples. It's a fact that he killed my Duanmu clan. That's enough. He must die today. Duanmu Pejuan's voice was incomparably cold. Then why don't you try? Yen Lan coldly shouted. Both sides faced each other, and it seemed like an intense battle was about to break out. Enough! At this moment, a calm voice sounded from the depths of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Sect leader. The expressions of Yen Lan, Duanmu Pejuan, and those silver-robed elders changed. Whoosh! Whoosh! Four beams of light tore through the void and appeared above the square in an instant. 4 figures emerged. The person in the lead was the Mystic Essence Sword sect master, Lin Shui. Behind him were 3 old men in golden robes. They were all golden-robed elders. The moment the Mystic Essence Sword sect master appeared, he frowned and waved his hand. A gentle force was generated and surged towards Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin who were fighting. Their attacks dissipated into nothingness, and their bodies seemed to be pushed back by something, retreating backwards. Sect leader, please don't stop me. Let me kill this bastard. Duanmu Lin roared and his body was filled with killing intent. You're an arrogant and self-righteous piece of trash. Do you think I'm afraid of you? It's not certain who will kill who. Do you really think you're a genius? In my eyes, you're just a piece of trash. Lu Ming coldly retorted. Bastard, smash it. I'm going to kill you. Duanmu Lin roared. Enough. The Mystic Essence Sword sect leader shouted again. This shout didn't seem heavy, but it reverberated in Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin's ears like thunder. Their expressions changed and they didn't say anything. Sect leader, you've come at the right time. Lu Ming, this bastard, first killed dozens of people from the Duanmu clan. Then, he dared to kill his way into the White Tiger Hall. In front of everyone, he killed dozens of martial grandmasters and even the chief elder. Such a rebellious and crazy person must die. I beg the sect leader to let me kill him personally. Duanmu Pejuan bowed to the sect leader and said. Duanmu Pejuan, don't accuse me. I said, let's find out the reason first. Yen Lan also cupped his fists and looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, tell me, what is going on? Didn't you kill dozens of people from the Duanmu clan before? The before that Yen Lan mentioned was obviously before they came to the White Tiger Hall. That's right. Lu Ming admitted it directly. Duanmu Pejuan was overjoyed and Yen Lan was shocked. Mulans and the others revealed anxious expressions. Duanmu Pejuan said, "Sect leader, look, Lu Ming admitted it himself." "I did admit it, but why don't you ask me where I killed them?" Lu Ming sneered. "I don't care where you killed them. It's a fact that you killed people from the Duanmu clan." Huh. Lu Ming sneered and ignored Duanmu Pejuan. He said, "It was in my clan, the Lu clan. Under the leadership of Lu Yunxiong, the people of the Duanmu clan slaughtered people from the Lu clan. They even wanted to kill my mother. Let me ask you, should these people be killed?" Lu Ming didn't speak to the people of the Duanmu clan. Instead, he spoke to the other people from the four great halls and the sect leader. What? There was such a thing? Everyone was shocked and they all looked at Duanmu Pejuan. Damn it, Duanmu Pejuan, your Duanmu clan has such great power. You actually killed the family of a disciple without permission. You're worse than a beast. If it were me, I would also kill them. Yen Lan's hair stood on end as he glared at Duanmu Pejuan. Nonsense, Lu Ming, you're talking nonsense. You slandered my Duanmu clan. You deserve to die. Duanmu Pejuan shouted angrily. Slandered? The corpses of your Duanmu clan disciples are still lying in my Lu clan. Do you want to go and take a look? Lu Ming mocked. Duanmu Pejuan's face was a little ugly as he said, even if there was such a thing, it's possible that they heard the rumors and were bewitched. You should have returned to the sect and reported the situation. The sect would naturally investigate. However, you acted on your own and killed them. Your intentions are terrible. Ha ha ha. After hearing this, Lu Ming laughed loudly. He then said, Duanmu Pejuan, what you mean is that you want me to ignore the life and death of my family first and let your Duanmu clan people kill my Lu clan people and kill my mother. Then, I will return to report to the sect and make a decision. Has your head been kicked by a donkey? Or is your IQ so low? Lu Ming's voice, which was filled with disdain, was like a storm that spread throughout the entire place. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming actually dared to scold Duanmu Pejuan. He said that Duanmu Pejuan's head had been kicked by a donkey. Wasn't he too daring? Little bastard, you, what did you say? Chapter 187. Ha ha ha, well scolded, well scolded. This old man's head has already been kicked by a donkey. Yen Lan laughed. Sect leader, you have seen it too. This kid has no respect for his elders. It is obvious that his character is low. Letting him live in this world is a disaster. Today, we must kill him. Duanmu Pejuan said to the sect leader. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword sect frowned. Lu Ming was undoubtedly a top genius. How could he say that he wanted to kill him? However, if he didn't kill him, how could he explain to the Duanmu family? Sect leader, Lu Ming killed 35 martial master experts and 15 great martial masters from the White Tiger Yard. There was even a chief elder who was a 9th grade martial master. These people were all elites of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. They gave their all for the sect. Yet, they died in the hands of a junior disciple. If we don't kill Lu Ming, I'm afraid we will be disappointed. That's right. Sect leader, even if those people were wrong, the martial grandmasters behind them were just guarding the White Tiger Hall and protecting the sect. What wrong did they do? Yet, they were killed mercilessly. Lu Ming must be killed. Some of the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall also stepped forward. The crowd couldn't help but look at the square. There were more than 10 corpses lying there. The blood had yet to dry. Yen Lan frowned. It was reasonable for Lu Ming to kill those people who barged into the Lu family. However, it was hard to justify these people. They prevented me from killing the real culprit. I reminded them that they asked for it. Lu Ming said coldly. Ha ha ha, what a joke. Lu Ming, according to what you said, if the sect leader stopped you, would you kill the sect leader as well? Duanmu Pejuan laughed. Lu Ming frowned and didn't say anything. He couldn't refute this point. This matter was caused by your Duanmu family. Lu Ming was trying to protect his family and his mother. In a moment of desperation, he attacked too heavily. This is human nature. It is pardonable. He doesn't deserve to die. Yan Lan said. Yan Lan, are you sure you want to protect Lu Ming? Duanmu Pejuan said. That's right. Yan Lan was resolute and decisive. Then let's fight today. Let's see how long you can protect Lu Ming. Duanmu Pejuan roared. Boom! Duanmu Pejuan and Yan Lan's auras exploded as they clashed in the air. The sect leader frowned. Pejuan, stop! An old voice sounded. Then, with a flash of golden light, a white-haired old man with a walking stick appeared in the air. This old man was wearing a golden robe. Clearly, he was a golden-robed elder. Father, why did you come out of seclusion? Seeing the old man, Duanmu Pejuan cried out in alarm. When the others heard this, they were all shocked. This person was actually Duanmu Pejuan's father. This is troublesome. Yan Lan muttered with a frown. Below, Mulan's eyes were filled with worry. Duanmu Pejuan's father, Duanmu Tsanghai, was the previous clan leader of the Duanmu family. He was also the previous dean of the White Tiger Hall. Although his current identity was a golden-robed elder of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, his cultivation was extremely terrifying. It was unfathomable and surpassed ordinary golden-robed elders. It was said that in recent years, he had been cultivating in seclusion in hopes of breaking through to the Supreme King realm. Unexpectedly, he came out of seclusion now. Greetings, old clan leader. Everyone from the Duanmu family stepped forward and bowed. Old Hai, why did you come out of seclusion? Did this matter need to alarm you? The sect leader's expression changed slightly before he smiled. Duanmu Tsanghai revealed a dry smile and said, Sect leader, if my old bones didn't come out for a walk, my Duanmu family would have been killed to the last man. The sect leader's expression changed slightly. He smiled and said, Old Hai, you're exaggerating. Why did you have to go to this extent? I've already heard about this matter. Firstly, my Duanmu family was also in the wrong. We were bewitched by others. However, Lu Ming was too ruthless. Not only did he kill them all, he even killed his way to the White Tiger Hall and killed more than 10 martial grandmasters. This matter cannot be forgotten. He can be spared from death, but he can't escape punishment. I suggest that he be expelled from the sect. Duanmu Tsanghai said. No way. Yan Lan took a step forward and firmly objected. This old man is so scheming. If we expel Lu Ming from the sect, without the protection of the sect, they will definitely send people to kill Lu Ming. Mulan's eyes were filled with anxiety. Old Hai, Lu Ming has a young temperament and is easily impulsive. However, it is not necessary to expel him from the sect. The sect leader said. Sect leader, it seems like you still cherish talents. However, you can also see that Lu Ming forcefully merged with the Demon King's soul. Even if he temporarily obtained strength, his foundation has been destroyed. He will no longer be a genius, but a cripple. Duanmu Tsanghai smiled and said. The sect leader frowned and pondered. After all, the Duanmu family was at fault in this matter. Lu Ming was only taking revenge for his family. Many young disciples would definitely stand on Lu Ming's side. If they expelled Lu Ming from the sect like this, many disciples would be bitterly disappointed. Seeing the sect leader hesitate, Duanmu Tsanghai's expression gradually turned cold. He said slowly, Sect leader, my Duanmu family has been working hard for the Mystic Essence Sword sect for thousands of years. We have made countless contributions. Today, so many of our people were killed by a junior disciple. If you don't expel him from the sect, then let my Duanmu family leave. Boom! This sentence was like a thunderbolt that exploded in everyone's mind, causing a commotion. This was a blatant threat. Duanmu Tsanghai was using the entire Duanmu family to threaten the sect leader. Despicable, shameless. Pang Shi, Mullins, and the others growled. The sect leader's expression also changed greatly. He said solemnly, "Old Hai, your words are too much." Although he said so, the sect leader had to take it seriously. In these years, the Duanmu family had become stronger and stronger. The entire White Tiger Hall had almost become their world. If they lost the Duanmu family, then the Mystic Essence Sword sect's vitality would be greatly damaged and their strength would weaken greatly. As the sect leader, he had to treat this seriously. Damn it, this old man. Yen Lan clenched his fists. Duanmu Pejuan and the other Duanmu family disciples sneered in their hearts. Let's see how Lu Ming will escape this calamity. After Duanmu Canghai finished speaking, a trace of scheming hung on the corner of his mouth. He narrowed his eyes slightly, waiting for the sect leader's answer. After pondering for a while, the sect leader took a deep breath. A bright light flashed in his eyes as he looked at Lu Ming and slowly said, "Lu Ming, although there is a reason for this matter, you have gone overboard by killing more than 10 people from the White Tiger Hall. They were all from the same sect. This is a serious crime." The sect leader's dignified voice spread throughout the hall. "Sect leader, you can't." Yen Lan roared. "Sect leader, Lu Ming avenged his family. What is wrong with that? What crime is there?" Mullins also shouted. "If that's the case, then the Duanmu family can kill our family in the future and we can't take revenge. What kind of logic is this?" Pang Shi also roared, his voice shaking the entire hall. Many disciples' eyes flickered. Obviously, they agreed with Pang Shi's words. "Impudent, you dare to question the sect leader's decision. You are all guilty." Chapter 188. Duanmu Pejuan, what are you shouting for? Are you going to attack a junior? Yen Lan glared at Duanmu Pejuan. "Dean!" Suddenly, Lu Ming shouted. Yen Lan looked at Lu Ming. The others also looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Yen Lan and said, "Lu Ming thanks Dean for your help." Then, Lu Ming looked at Mullins and the others and said, "Senior Sister Mullins, Big Stone, Fengwu, you don't have to say more. I already understand this matter." After saying that, Lu Ming smiled indifferently. The sect leader's intention was clear. What he meant next was to expel him from the sect. "I'm still not important enough." Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Strength. Everything was still a matter of strength. He was too weak. If he was extremely powerful and surpassed the Duanmu family, why would the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader have this intention? Why would he punish him? Even if he destroyed the Duanmu family, the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader would not say a word. Although he had displayed an extremely powerful talent during this period of time, it was only now. After all, he was still young. Who knew what would happen in the future? Would he be like a shooting star, flashing and disappearing? There were too many examples of this in the world. Moreover, Duanmu Lin was also a peerless genius. Now that he had awakened a second-grade king bloodline, he had broken through to the martial ancestor realm at the age of 18. In many people's eyes, Duanmu Lin's future was definitely stronger than Lu Ming's. Therefore, in general, Lu Ming's value and weight were too far away from the Duanmu family. Therefore, the sect leader chose the Duanmu family in the end. This was the reality. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Then, he smiled indifferently and looked at the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader. His clear voice rang out, "Sect leader Lin, today, I, Lu Ming, am withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword sect." His voice was calm and indifferent, causing everyone's hearts to tremble. Lu Ming was withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword sect. "Lu Ming, no!" Mullins shouted. "Senior brother Lu Ming." Pang Shi gritted his teeth, his eyes wide open. Sigh. Zhang Muyun, Duan Gang, and the others sighed. Many of the Duanmu clan's disciples laughed loudly. Cold smiles appeared on Duanmu Canghai and Duanmu Pejuan's faces. "Senior Sister Mullins, Big Stone, you don't need to say anything more. I've already made up my mind. Rather than wait for him to be expelled from the sect, he might as well withdraw himself. Alas! Sect leader Lin Shui let out a long sigh and said, Lu Ming, Lin Shui, guarantee that no one will dare to touch your family. I will guarantee their safety for 10 years. Elder Yu. Lin Shui shouted. I'm here. Behind Lin Shui, a golden-robed elder cupped his fists and said, set off immediately and guard the Lu clan in Windfire City for 10 years. Ensure the safety of the Lu clan for 10 years. Kill anyone who dares to touch the Lu clan. Lin Shui instructed. Understood. The golden-robed elder cupped his fists and turned into a streak of light, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Canghai's old eyes narrowed slightly, a sharp light flashed across them. Duanmu Pijuan's face was slightly ugly. It was obvious that Lin Shui's action was to guard against the Duanmu clan. Many thanks, sect leader Lin. Lu Ming stepped forward, cupping his fists to express his gratitude. He was sincerely thanking Lin Shui. He was originally worried about the Lu clan and his mother, but there was no need for that now. With a golden-robed elder guarding the Lu clan would be absolutely safe for the next 10 years. Lu Ming, I've let you down. As the Mystic Essence Sword sect leader, I have to think for the sect. Lin Shui's sigh sounded in Lu Ming's ears. Of course, it was transmitted through voice transmission, no one else could hear it. Lu Ming nodded, not saying anything. He then flew towards Yanlan. He saluted and said, Sect leader, Lu Ming thanks you for your help. Lu Ming, you don't have to do this. I can protect you even if I have to risk my life. Yanlan said. Lu Ming will remember sect leader's kindness. After saluting again, Lu Ming moved and came to Mulin's side. Lu Ming. Senior brother Lu Ming. Mulin's and the others shouted, their eyes filled with anger and reluctance. Everyone, take care in the future. I will come back to see you. Lu Ming said with a smile. Senior brother Lu Ming, if you leave the sect I will follow you. I won't stay here anymore. Pang Shi shouted. Big Stone, what nonsense are you talking about? Cultivate well in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. With your talent, you will definitely achieve something in the future. Don't disappoint your parents. Lu Ming said, but his heart was filled with warmth. The best thing he had gained in the Mystic Essence Sword sect was to make a few true friends. But. Pang Shi's eyes were red, his fists were clenched tightly. But what? Cultivate well. We will definitely meet again in the future and drink together. Lu Ming patted Pang Shi's shoulder and said solemnly. Pang Shi clenched his teeth and nodded solemnly. Lu Ming, you leave the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Be careful. The Duanmu family will not let you off so easily. Mulin's warned, her eyes filled with worry. Lu Ming nodded. Of course, he was well aware of this. His relationship with the Duanmu clan was already irreconcilable. Suddenly, Lu Ming smiled and whispered in Mulin's ear, Senior Sister Mulin's, don't forget that you still owe me a reward. I will ask for it the next time we meet. Then, he took a deep breath. Mulin's blushed and said softly, as long as you are alive, everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable? Is she hinting at something? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then, he smiled and turned to leave. Lu Ming, take care. Zhang Muyan strode out and cupped his fists at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, take care. Ling Kong, Duan Gang, Zhuirong, Qing Feilwan, and the rest walked out and cupped their fists at Lu Ming. Ha, everyone, take care. Let's drink together next time. Lu Ming laughed heartily. Next time. There will be a next time. Lu Ming, I will kill you. Duanmu Lin's eyes were cold and his voice was filled with killing intent. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Duanmu Lin with a sneer on his face. Duanmu Lin, do you really think you are a genius? I, Lu Ming, swear today that I will take your head with my own strength within 2 years. "Ha, what a joke, with your own strength. You will never be a match for me in this lifetime." Duanmu Lin revealed a mocking smile that was filled with disdain. "Also, we'll talk about it again if you have the life to live." Lin, he is just talking nonsense. He forcefully merged with the Beast King's soul and will soon become a cripple. He is already at the end of his road. Duanmu Pejuan sneered. "Is that so? Old man, just you wait. Today, I killed more than a dozen people from your Duanmu family. In the future, I will definitely flatten the Duanmu family with the long spear in my hand." With that, Lu Ming let out a long laugh. Step by step, he stepped into the air and headed out of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Under the sunlight, Lu Ming's young back view was filled with confidence, perseverance, unyielding spirit, and a heroic spirit that seemed to be ready to break through the heavens. This scene, this moment, this back view, was deeply imprinted in the minds of everyone present. Chapter 189. Lu Ming, I believe that nothing will happen to you. You will definitely be able to create a miracle and flatten the Duanmu family in the future. Mulins whispered. As for Feng Wu, he also looked at Lu Ming's departing figure with a complicated expression. This youth who was about the same age as him had joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect with her and participated in the examination together, but he had created too many miracles. Once, she had a special feeling for Lu Ming, but as Lu Ming burst out with a dazzling light, she suppressed that feeling. She knew that the gap between them was too big. In the future, it would only get bigger and bigger. Senior brother Lu Ming. Pang Shi clenched his fists tightly. His tiger eyes were filled with tears as his body trembled non-stop. Lu Ming, the world is unfair, but I believe that you will be able to break through all the obstacles. In the future, I will wait for you to discuss the Tao with me. Zhang Muyan muttered to himself. At the side, Zhuirong tightly grabbed onto Zhang Muyan's hands. Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Lu Yao stared blankly at Lu Ming's departing figure. At this moment, she didn't know why, but her heart was filled with complicated emotions. On one hand, she hated that Lu Ming was just a trash that she had abandoned, but he actually had such a high talent. Furthermore, he had killed his father and crippled his brother. On the other hand, she was afraid that Lu Ming would really one day kill his way to the Duanmu family and destroy everything she had. Lu Ming, you should go to hell. In the end, Lu Yao growled. Sigh. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, Lin Shui, let out a long sigh. She turned around and took a step forward, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Canghai looked in the direction where Lu Ming had disappeared. His turbid old eyes flashed with a bright light. Pejuan, this child is too extraordinary. He is a peerless genius and must not be allowed to live. If he does not die, my heart will not be at ease. Duanmu Canghai said solemnly to Duanmu Pejuan. Duanmu Pejuan was greatly shocked. His father actually thought so highly of Lu Ming. Was Lu Ming's threat really that great? Father, don't worry. I will arrange it. Duanmu Pejuan bowed. That's great. Duanmu Canghai nodded, then took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. The crowd slowly dispersed. However, after today's events, Lu Ming's name was destined to shock everyone in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. His name would be engraved in the history of the sect. Lu Ming left the Mystic Essence Sword sect and quickly flew into the distance. Not long after, he rushed into a mountain forest. At this time, the aura on his body was rapidly declining. Although the Demon King's soul was powerful, it had been holding on for so long, and its energy had been depleted. Puff! Lu Ming's body trembled and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The backlash from the Demon King's soul is too strong. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, my body was nearly unable to withstand it and was severely injured. Lu Ming pondered. At this moment, his bones were faintly cracked, his muscles were torn apart by a powerful force, and his skin was covered with a thick layer of blood scabs. However, it was not as serious as Duanmu Pejuan and the others had imagined. They had thought that Lu Ming was already crippled. As long as Lu Ming focused on recuperating, he would recover in a few days. This was the uniqueness of the spirit-devouring bloodline. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the Mystic Essence Sword sect, his eyes shining brightly. In the end, I'm still too weak. The Duanmu family used their entire family to suppress the Mystic Essence Sword sect's sect master. Of course, I can't compare to an entire family. But that's only for now. Soon, I will prove that I, alone, can suppress an entire family, an entire force. I want to become stronger. With a spear in hand, I can dominate the world. That's my goal. Lu Ming clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination. There's also Autumn Moon. This time, I can't bid farewell to her. If she knows that I left the Mystic Essence Sword sect, I wonder what she will do. That girl will probably cause a huge ruckus. Lu Ming thought to himself. Forget it. There will be a time when we meet again. The most important thing now is to recuperate. With a thought, Lu Ming appeared in the Temple of Paragon. He took out a healing pill, swallowed it, and started to recuperate. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries were 80% healed. Mother must be worried about me this time. I should go back home and see her. Then, I'll go to the imperial capital and cultivate while thinking of a way to save my father. After planning the rest of his journey, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon. He found a small river in the forest and washed the blood off his body. He then changed into a black robe and put on a bamboo hat. He left the forest and headed toward Fenghua City. The black robe and bamboo hat were the same ones he had used before. He had always kept them in the Temple of Paragon. The Duanmu family wouldn't let him off so easily. Hence, he had to be careful. On the way to Firestorm City, he changed directions a few times. He only returned to the Lu family 7 days later. Ming, you're fine. That's great. At the first sight of Lu Ming, Li Ping's tears rolled down her cheeks. She hugged Lu Ming tightly. Lu Ming had chased after Lu Yunxiong. During this period, she had been on tenterhooks every day. She was afraid that something had happened to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm fine. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. That's great. That's great. Li Ping nodded incessantly, looking at Lu Ming carefully. Then, he chatted with Li Ping about the Lu family's situation. Previously, the 2nd to 6th branches of the Lu family had all surrendered to Lu Yunxiong. However, Lu Ming had returned. Not only did he kill all of Lu Yunxiong's men, but he even chased after Lu Yunxiong. Seeing those invincible experts lying in the Lu family's courtyard as corpses, the Lu family's members were terrified. It was unbelievable that Lu Ming was so strong. For the past few days, they had been waiting in fear for Lu Ming's return and his judgment. After chatting with Li Ping for a while, the remaining 3 core elders of the Lu family came to greet him. The 3 of us greet the young lord. When the 3 core elders saw Lu Ming, they bowed and greeted him. Elders, there's no need to be so polite. Lu Ming quickly helped the 3 core elders up. He was touched and respectful that the core elders still stood by the Lu family and Li Ping's side at the moment of life and death. The 3 core elders looked at Lu Ming with undisguised joy in their eyes. Lu Ming's combat strength was so strong that he could chase after Lu Yunxiong and return alive. This meant that the Lu family would rise soon. They were naturally happy. Young lord, the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches are waiting outside. One of the core elders said. Oh? Then let them wait. Come, 3 elders, let's have some tea and chat. Lu Ming smiled and invited the 3 core elders to take a seat. Then, Lu Ming asked about the Lu family's situation and the details of how Lu Yunxiong came to the Lu family. In the blink of an eye, 2 hours had passed. Go, let them in. Lu Ming ordered a maid. The maid acknowledged and went out. Soon, 5 middle-aged men came in. These 5 middle-aged men were the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches and the elders of the Lu family. Greetings, young lord. Chapter 190. Lu Ming sat upright in his seat and accepted the bow calmly. He glanced at them and sneered, "I'm your young master. Your master should be Lu Yunxiong, right?" The faces of the 5 branch leaders paled, and one of them said, "Young lord, you've misunderstood. That day, the force Lu Yunxiong brought with him was too strong. If we resisted, we would have been annihilated. If that happened, the Lu family would be finished. Yes, young master. We surrendered to Lu Yunxiong only as a temporary measure. We wanted to preserve our lives and wait for your return." "Oh? Is that so?" Lu Ming looked at them with a faint smile. He did not speak, but picked up his teacup and drank slowly. The 5 branch leaders looked at each other. They did not know what Lu Ming was thinking and felt uneasy. At that time, the Mystic Essence Sword sect had already informed them of my death, right? Waiting for my return. Did they already know that I was not dead? Lu Ming asked calmly. The 5 of them began to sweat and looked at each other. Then, they braced themselves and said, "Young master, you are a genius. How could you die so easily? We already guessed that you were not dead. That's why we decided to take advantage of you." "Oh? I see. You are all very resourceful. You can even tell someone's fortune." Lu Ming said calmly and continued to drink his tea. The 5 branch leaders' faces turned red, but they could only grit their teeth and keep quiet. The atmosphere seemed to have frozen. Lu Ming drank his tea. The 3 core elders and Li Ping did not speak. The 5 branch leaders could only stand there and did not dare to make a sound. The current Lu Ming was no longer the useless young master from back then. His combat power was unparalleled and his cultivation had reached an incredible level. Killing them was easier than killing an ant. Unknowingly, he had formed a very powerful aura. They did not even dare to breathe loudly in front of Lu Ming. "Lu Yunxiong has been killed by me." Suddenly, Lu Ming's voice sounded. "What?" Not only were the 5 branch masters shocked, but even the 3 core elders were shocked. "I've already killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger Hall. Therefore, don't think that you're lucky. This is the fate of those who betray the Lu clan." Lu Ming said coldly. "Hiss," everyone gasped. Lu Ming had actually killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger courtyard and still managed to return alive. Just how capable was he? It was already hard for them to imagine. At the same time, the 5 branch leaders were terrified. They looked at each other and actually knelt down together, saying, "Young lord, we were really foolish that day. Please forgive us, young lord. We will wholeheartedly assist young lord in reviving the Lu family. If we disobey, we will die a horrible death. Why can't I believe it?" Lu Ming looked at the 5 branch masters with a faint smile. The cold sweat on the faces of the 5 branch masters became denser and dripped down continuously. "How about this, all of you swear an oath on your inner demons, and I'll believe you." Lu Ming said indifferently. "An oath on your inner demons?" The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically. An oath on one's inner demons was to swear to one's own heart, using one's blood essence as a stepping stone. Once a martial artist made an oath on his inner demons and went against it in the future, it would be easy for the inner demons to flare up during cultivation, resulting in chi deviation and death. "Why? If you don't want to make the oath, I won't feel at ease leaving you here." Lu Ming's voice turned cold. The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically, and they quickly said, "Yes, we'll make the oath." Then, the 5 of them swore an oath on their inner demons. Lu Ming smiled and said, "In the future, you will know that you made the right choice. Now, you may leave." The 5 branch masters quickly excused themselves. "Elders, the Lu clan's strength has been greatly reduced after a series of twists and turns. However, quality is more important than quantity. I have some secret manuals here, take them and cultivate." Lu Ming's phone lit up, and a stack of books appeared on the table. Secret manuals on cultivation and martial techniques? The 3 core elders were confused, and they each picked up a book and flipped through it. As soon as they opened the book, their eyes widened in shock. High-grade yellow class martial techniques. Mine is also a high-grade yellow class martial technique. Mine too. The 3 core elders exclaimed in unison. Elders, here are 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques. Take them and cultivate. You can also choose the best seedlings in the clan and teach them. Lu Ming smiled. 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques. The 3 core elders sucked in a breath of cold air. The Lu clan only had 1 high-grade yellow class martial technique, and it was regarded as the clan's ultimate technique. Ordinary people were not qualified to cultivate it. The Lu clan did not have many low-grade yellow class martial techniques, only 6 or 7 of them. Now, Lu Ming actually took out so many secret manuals in one go. If the Lu clan's disciples cultivated them, their strength would rise quickly. Thank you, young lord. The 3 core elders thanked Lu Ming, their bodies trembling with excitement. Elders, you don't have to thank me. Since I am the young lord of the Lu clan, this is what I should do. Lu Ming said. In the Dongyi clan's ruins, Lu Ming had obtained more than 30 yellow class martial technique manuals. These manuals were useless to him, so he could only sell them. It was better to keep them in the Lu clan and increase their strength. There's more. Lu Ming's mind moved, and a few more jade bottles appeared on the table. Inside these jade bottles were some medicinal pills. Some could heal injuries, some could expel poison, and some could increase the cultivation of martial soldier or martial mentor. They were all obtained by Lu Ming from the enemies he killed. They were useless to Lu Ming, but to most of the Lu clan's Meridian Opening Realm and Martial Soldier Realm martial artists, they were of great use. Take these pills. As for how to divide them, you can decide. Lu Ming said. Young lord, if you give them to the clan, what about yourself? One of the core elders asked. Take them. I have no use for them. Lu Ming smiled. Good, good. We'll take them. We'll distribute them to the disciples who are loyal to the Lu clan and increase the clan's strength. Another core elder said excitedly. The 3 of them carefully put away the pills. Li Ping was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth when she saw Lu Ming take out so many treasures. The 3 core elders bid farewell to Lu Ming. They were in a hurry to go back and discuss how to use these treasures to increase the Lu clan's strength as soon as possible. Lu Ming stayed in the Lu clan for 7 days. After 7 days, Lu Ming decided to bid farewell to Li Ping. He couldn't hide in the Lu clan forever. There were some things he had to face. Moreover, he had to investigate Lu Yintian's whereabouts as soon as possible. In the main residence's courtyard. Ming go out. Be careful. Li Ping didn't urge Lu Ming to stay. She only reminded Lu Ming to be careful. A man's ambition was to travel far. Moreover, a genius like Lu Ming couldn't be trapped in one place. That would only bind him. Li Ping knew this very well, so she didn't urge him to stay. Mother, don't worry. Ming will be fine. Lu Ming said. Afterward, Lu Ming pondered and hesitated. After a while, he said, Mom, Ming has something to tell you.